hear me? It's work? Okay. So yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today here in Eindhoven. My name is Caleb Borges. This is my colleague, Ghada Zakhama.
Hello, everyone.
And we are here today to present our use case, that's process mining in warehousing, more specifically in a medical devices management. And we both work for the DHL group, more specifically in the internal audit department, in the data and analytics team. So we are based in Bonn, in Germany. It's not that far from here, in Eindhoven. And in the right picture, you can see the post tower. That's the headquarters of the company, also located in Bonn, Germany. And also put a picture of one example of our vehicles. I think most of us already got something delivered by DHL, so it's a pretty well-known brand. The DHL group consists of 6 divisions, operational divisions. The DHL Parcel Germany is responsible for the postal service in Germany. The DHL Express is the most famous one because it delivers time-definite international shipments around the world. The global forwarding and the freight are responsible for big shipments delivered by ocean freight, air freight, and also railways. The supply chain is responsible for managing warehouses for multiple companies, like well-known brands. And the DHL e-commerce is the newest division and provides like a standard platform for companies like small shops or big online shops that want to have a standard platform to ship their orders. Just a few numbers about from last year, like in Germany, it was delivered like 1.7 billion parcels by the postal service, almost 5 million tons of things being delivered by the ocean and air freight. Sorry. And by the Express division, like 1.1 million shipments being delivered per day. So, as I said, it's the most famous and used division of DHL. Just a few numbers, like we operate in more than 12,000 locations, and we are present in 220 countries and territories around the world. And about our workforce, as of end of last year, we were around 600,000 employees around the world. And just one number that I would like to highlight is the number of trainees that we have. It's a nice way to join the company. It's almost 5,000 trainees that we have. And also not only the trainee program, but also the internship. Like Ghada started as intern in plantation in the US, and she moved to Germany to work in the internal audit department. So now talking more about the internal audit structure, we are not related to any of the operational divisions that I mentioned before. We are like in the corporate center, so we are under the finance team and also under the corporate internal audit and security. So we are together with the IT audit department. We are part of the same department, but we work separately somehow. And our team is responsible for supporting every other audit department. So we are specifically doing data analytics to support the IT, the other audit projects. So you can see that there are departments related to some divisions and also to some functions into the company, like finance and some other things. All the other departments come to us when they have something to be done related to data in their audit programs. And as you can see, there is also an arrow from our own department because we also support the IT audit. We don't do IT audits, we just do data analytics. And the services that we provide to these other audit teams are related to ETL, like extract, transform, and load, with KNIME, that's the main tool that we use. Also, when it's related to a really huge data sets, we use SQL Server to process it. And we are starting to use Azure Data Factory as well. For process mining, of course, we use Disco, and for anomaly detection, we use Python. Also for OCR and translation, we use Python with some APIs. And for visualization, we use KNIME, but mostly we are using Power BI for that purpose. So our use case is going to be related to the DHL Supply Chain division. And this is like, with this division we try to provide like tailor-made solutions for every customer that we have, because every customer has different products, so we need to provide a different solution for them. And we try to provide standardized solutions, but also with the support of robots to make things more reliable and standardized and faster. And DHL has the leading position in the contract logistics. It's more than twice the size of the second company. And we are always trying to meet or exceed the customer expectations. This division itself has around 188,000 employees, and we are active in more than 50 countries. So as I mentioned, we are working, this use case is about the DHL supply chain. So there is an audit team specifically auditing supply chain, the supply chain operations, and they came to us to request our support in data analytics for this specific project. We're not going to mention the company that was audited, but DHL is responsible for the logistics of this medical devices solution provider, and they provide like 4 types of services: diabetes care, diagnostic equipment, implantable devices, and capital equipment. It's a really big company. And the supply chain audit team, they gave us like this map, like a more visual map to understand the process, how it works. And DHL is responsible for managing the transportation between warehouses. And at the end, we deliver from the warehouse to hospitals and also to patients' houses. So yeah, it's a time-critical thing because it can also be delivered to the surgery room. So it needs to be reliable. So now I'm going to hand over to Ghada to present more details about the use case.
Thank you, Caleb, for the insights. And now I think you have a better idea about the DHL group and its divisions, and also on the data analytics team and which services it provides. So again, diving deeper into this use case from the audit, which is medical device management. So the objective of this audit was to review the data quality in the warehousing system and also checking the compliance to the contractually agreed process and service levels in order management. So let's have a look also on what steps does our data analytics team follows while or during the audits. So each and every audit, in our case for sure in the data analytics team, so starts with the data request. So this is something that our colleagues in the supply chain audit team would do. So they would request the data from the responsible team, and so the files or the tables that we would need to do the checks and also the analysis. And once we get the data, so we need to check if we have all the data that we have requested, if there are any columns which are missing, or also if we have requested, for example, 12 months of data, then we need to check if there is any gaps in between the months that were requested. So these 2 phases are mainly done during the audit preparation phase. And then comes our main task is to do the data manipulation and so preparing the data and doing the analysis. And in this case, in particular in this use case, then it is preparing the data to be loaded or to be used in Disco. So this step is done using the NIME Analytics platform, which is our main tool for performing analysis. So let's have a look on the example of the data that we have received. So this is just the dummy data, of course. Here, the input that we have received from our colleagues, you can see that it looks this way. So we have the shipment ID, we have all the events that we are going to use in our analytics. So it is in different columns. And what we would need, if you are all using Disco, then you know that you would need a case ID, which is in this case the shipment ID, and then the activity, which is the milestone in this case, and then the date and time frame. So this is also in separate column. So you can see already the workflow that was used. It was not really complicated workflow, but it is. It does the job that we needed to do. So now we have our output, which would be the input into Disco. So it's ready. And the next step would be doing the process mining analysis. So this is, of course, done in Disco. Yeah. Now we will dive deeper into the tests that we have done. So first test was checking the process sequence. So what you can see here is our milestones, and this is the correct or the normal flow of the data or the sequence of the data. So it starts with the creation of the order, and then we have the shipment creation date, and then the courier would pick up the shipment, and then it would deliver it. So we have the actual delivery date and time, and as last step would be the POD entry, which is the proof of delivery. So proof of delivery, for example, could be the signature of the customer. And what you can see in the map, so we have all the milestones that we have in here, and everything that flows in the correct order, then you can see it in bold arrows. And what you can see, all the rest are the exceptions. And of course, as auditors, we are always more interested in exceptions than in the normal flow. So here, looking at the variants, we have most of our cases are in following variant 1, which is the normal flow that you see here. But in the same time, we have other variants that have one or more issues in the sequence. So yeah, again, we just filtered here on the variant 1 to see the correct or flow or sequence of the data, and the other map represents all the exceptions or anomalies that we have in the process. So yeah, here, if you wonder how we did it, so we just filter on the attributes on the variant 1. So then we get the correct flow of the data, and then if we would like to do the other way around, then we just exclude variant 1 and take everything else, so that we get the exceptions in the map. Yeah, so now let's, let's have a look on one example, so variant 11, which has only one case. And here, if you remember the correct or the normal sequence of the data, then you can see that we have 3 milestones or 3 events that were not in the correct order. So yeah, so here we have order creation date, and then comes shipment creation date, then the courier pickup, then actual delivery, and POD at the end. Yeah. So this helps us see which are the cases, or which are the orders where we can see issues or anomalies. The second test is about the duration. So we wanted here to see if we have any shipments that took longer than specific number of days. So here, of course, we only take the normal of flow or the correct sequence of the data. So, of course, if you remember again, we did just filter on the variant 1. And here we see that we have some cases where it took a high amount of time to be done. So if we have a look on this case, where we have 107 days in the duration, so you can see that the order was created on the 26th of October on 2020, and then it was the sequence or the whole shipment was over on the 11th of February 2021. So overall, it took 107 days and 23 hours. And this was not like time-critical shipment, so yeah, it was not a big issue. And here, the last test that we have also performed is to check if we have any cases where we have the exact date and also time in the process. So here, for example, you can see that we have the courier pickup date and also the actual delivery date were done on the exact same day and the exact same time. So this could be due to a human error, so maybe the courier put the same time and date on both milestones, or also could be due to a machine error. Is it moving? Okay, so now we have performed all the analysis in the process mining analysis, and we have our results. So what we do is to deliver the results as PDF files when we are talking about maps, and also CSV files for the activities and the cases to our colleagues in the audit team, so the responsible team. And then they would double check it, and if there are any filters that we have missed out or anything that needs to be adjusted, then what they do is to come back to us so that we reperform the analysis, and also recheck the results if there is any case of error. And so let's have a look on the findings based on our tests in Disco. So the first test was about the process sequence. So here we have only 0.5% of all the shipments where we found that did not follow the contractually agreed process sequence. Then in the second test was about the duration. We also only found 1% of all shipments which exceeded the agreed service level for shipment creation by up to 104 days. And the time required was average time required was mostly 10 days. And for the last test, it was about checking the same date and time stamp. So here we found 4.9% of all shipments did have the same timestamps for the courier pickup and also for the actual delivery date. So these kind of controls or checks would help us avoid many risks. So if we have bad data quality and also non-compliance to the agreed upon service levels, then this might lead to bad service quality, contract penalties, and even loss of reputation. So it's important to do these kind of controls and checks. Back to you, Caleb.
Just to wrap up, some lessons learned that we got not from only this project, but the other process mining that we did with other divisions as well. That the process mining gives us visibility and compliance because it highlights deviations on the agreed process that we have with the customer. It also helps us understand deviations so we can guide to better improvements. And also the continuous monitoring. If we do it more frequently, we can find deviations early and then apply corrective actions also quicker. I think that's it. It's time for the Q&A, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.
Do you have questions for Ghada and Caleb?
The data request process, how does that look? What do you have to ask that so that they can give you the correct data? So that's...
So this task is mostly done by the business audit team. So in this case was the supply chain team. So they go to the responsible team, for example, in the DSC division, and they would ask for the files or access to the database if it's possible. And so how they know which files they would need to do or need to request, then this is something that, of course, comes in the audit preparation, so they discuss it with the responsible teams so they know which systems they use, and also, for these specific tests, what kind of data we would need.
Yeah, for DSC, I think it's the trickiest division because it has so many different systems, then we don't have access. So it's quite hard, and usually we do some walkthroughs, how the process work with the auditees, and then we need to see, okay, this system, we can get some extract, this kind of thing. So yeah, but usually sometimes we are part of the walkthrough, sometimes don't, but yeah, then that's how we understand how the process works, and then we see, okay, we can get some extracts from here, and then we can work with this data. We don't have access as you like to get the data like in an easier way. Yeah.
One more question.
Did the findings did they become changes in the actual process? Did they use them to change things, or did they only measure from it?
So for the findings, so it's of course used by the business, so they would go to the system and check if there is any things that can be fixed, and also most of the times it is also good to have trainings to the employees and also to the couriers in this case, for example, where they become more aware that they need also to double check the timestamps or the entries that they have in the system.
Maybe regarding this, I have a quick follow-up question. Mm-hmm. So you said the question from the beginning that you received was about, yes, compliance, but also data quality, indeed. So is data quality, is that a common request that you get from this department? And why do they want you to check for data quality?
Yeah, it's something that usually it's like the first step that we do in every project, because there are we always find something weird in the data or some duplicates, these kind of things that can lead to incorrect information or incorrect analysis. So usually we do this kind of analysis like in every project. Like the first step is check for data quality and then give the results back to the auditors. Yeah, it's like a step that we always do in each project.
Yeah, but it's part of your own analysis. So it's not that they are interested in data quality for other reasons, like outside of your analysis.
So there are some audits that they basically require a lot of data accuracy tests, etc. But as Caleb said, that mostly it is it's part of every and each audit that we need first to do the checks, so that we know that we are using the correct data, and then everything comes afterwards. Yeah, so it's like the mandatory steps for us.
Okay, great, thanks. Let's take the rest of the discussion into the break and thank Ghada and Caleb again.